All right, Leo. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Mother Tressa channel. If you're already familiar with this channel, then of course you already know what to expect, and welcome back. So glad to have you back. But if you're new to this channel, welcome in. Definitely feel free to be your most authentic self wherever you are energetically, be it positive, negative, or neutral. It really doesn't matter so long as you leave better than you came. If the message resonates, give me a thumbs up. Also subscribe to this channel if you happen to enjoy my energy and want more of me, but then also do remember to click that bell notification so you're made aware as soon as I upload a video. Let's get started. Bottom of the deck, you guys have the Five of Pentacles. So some of you guys definitely feel robbed. Some of you guys, you might have been robbed if you haven't been put out of your house. Overlying energy, you have the Two of Swords. So this is an impasse type of energy. This can be the Ace of Cups flipped over. But this can be, if this is in matters of the heart, this is like trying to either follow your intuition and follow your heart, or listening to your mind. So it can be sensory overload, especially because swords can often speak about people talking and conversing, you know what I'm saying? And so this can be having too many opinions, too many outside opinions here, if this is not you just by your lonesome and potentially ruminating about a loving relationship, or maybe a business idea if this is not about love, but really trying to figure out like what to do or what to think about it. Here we go. Cruise that hounds you is the Ten of Cups. Was the Ten of Cups the cruise in Cancer or Aries? One of those. So check out the reading, especially if you're dealing with one of those signs. They're both cardinal in nature. What's real about the situation? You have the King of Swords. What's wrong about the situation? You have the Ten of Wands. Where you need more information, you have the Emperor card. And what you have as an outcome is the Eight of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Wands. So that five energy is definitely following you around a little bit. So now's the time for you to pay attention to the changes that are about to take place in your life. The changes that may be happening within your home. Again, as I was saying, if somebody may have broken into your home and you've had to file an insurance claim, and just the thoughts now that you have because of the traumatic experience and going through that. Even if you or your family members weren't home when that happened, it's still pretty traumatic, because up until something like that happens to you, you definitely feel like you are invincible, you know? But it robs then your sense of security in you living in that type of environment or atmosphere, whatever city you may be living in. So some of you guys are definitely about to experience some changes within the home. Definitely some changes with the number 5, and that speaking to your house, and just on a very surface, shallow level before we dive in, this can definitely be changes that are inevitable occurring within your romance sector, you know, your love affairs, things with children as well, if you already have children or if you're expecting a child here, because water can talk about like conception. Circling back to matters of the heart, it's making that head or heart decision as far as what's the best default to lead with potentially in your romantic affairs, because maybe it's like a toss-up, you know. 50% of the time you tried leading with your hearts because you guys do have big hearts and you can be generous, and it's like, okay, well, why should I have to minimalize the way that I feel if I feel such an instantaneous connection with someone? I should just be able to be naive and enjoy the elation that comes with being in love and feeling like I'm connecting with a kindred spirit. You know what I mean? But then the other part of you has learned through maybe certain potential traumas and pain of the past and past cycles that you've gone through with other people, that you leading with your heart and wearing your heart on your sleeve wasn't such a good idea, because then that made you too vulnerable and more susceptible to being manipulated, you know what I mean, and not making logical, rational decisions, and having a plan, really, not even just a backup plan, but just as far as the, I guess we can call it like the process of you seeing love through by leading with logic here. But it's very hard trying to lead with logic, because then you start to second guess, is what I'm hearing. A lot of things that people do behaviorally or just the way that people think, and then you start to second guess yourself as well, and just how pure and just how sure you are of a loving connection. So I feel like it's just you guys going through that and battling with that. Some of you guys, if you're not in a connection with someone, because with swords energy, you get like the cutting off, right? The shearing of, or a like a piercing energy. If you're not in a connection with someone that at one point you were in a union with, here, I feel like this sensory overload is just you trying to figure out if now would be the best time to reach out to this person. Like you're going with the should I, because the Ten of Wands, especially when it's in an obstacle position, it reminds me of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Like this is somebody that has a lot of regret over the way a certain situation has panned out, right? Or the result of a potential accomplishment, it didn't bring as much satisfaction as the person maybe thought that it would. So again, if you have been chasing fame or chasing power, maybe through your own abuse of power, or just through your own karma in the way that you were to come into situations being that more authoritative figure, you know, and that leader, or having that entrepreneurial spirit, and just being blessed with certain opportunities, because cups can be blessings here. You've come to realize that you lose certain principles, and you lose certain ethics and a sense of morality when you acquire power. Just like how much power you decide that you want to have in your life. You have come to realize, just in watching other people, or just learning about billionaires and the way that they have been able to climb up those ladders to success, and just the ways that they've had to be or act in very disloyal ways, you know, or again, just be very tyrant in their behavior. This is like a loss of sympathy here. When you have the King of Swords and the Emperor, this is somebody that just doesn't care about anybody but themselves. Kind of like that self-centered energy that you get, or self-absorbed energy that you get when you see like the Sun card. It's still that same energy here. So if that's what's been happening, some of you guys realize that like it's not really worth it. Like you have all this power and all this success and all of these benefits, right? Or privileges that come with a certain career path that you may have chosen, but at the end of the day, nobody really has respect for you. You know what I mean? So then like, is it worth it? People don't really admire you. You know, it's like you lose that, I don't want to say fandom, but you know, like when people just appreciate and support you, once they see that ugly side of you and they know that like that is your true character or your nature, I feel like you just tend to lose a lot of people. So that's what some of you guys are stressing about at this time. I definitely feel like you guys are extremely anxious about something. So if it's not about your career, the career path that you've chosen, and just what you were willing to do to again achieve power, or obtain power, if you will, then this is again about a relationship, and maybe the ways that you abused the leadership role that you were supposed to assume in that relationship, or in the ways that you used your physical assets, because Wands energy can talk about somebody's physical appearance, you know what I mean, or just a lot of people throwing themselves at you or your person due to everybody deeming them to be attractive, you know what I mean? But then like, is it worth it if you know that they're only in it for the fact that they can treat you like an accessory and not as a confidant, you know, not as a true companion. So if you're single, then that's kind of what's coming up then for you. Like, how far am I willing to go? How much longer do I really want to sit in this energy and behave in this certain particular way before I stand up and I'm like, okay, you know what, enough's enough. Let me cut out all this BS, you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't do anything but also, again, bring me stress, or it just makes me feel like people only want me for what I can do for them, you know, or for what they get out of it type of energy. Like, I'm done with this. I want something that is a little bit more meaningful, that has a little bit more depth. And so a lot of you guys, you're fighting against your own laws, right? Your laws and order. If you have a group of friends that you often confide in, especially with the Five of Wands that's at the bottom of the deck, it's kind of like you coming to realize that, like, this, like, the, what do they say? Because it can be like unspoken codes. You know how they have like girl code or guy code? It's like this unspoken code in the way that you are supposed to matriculate into being a man, you know? I'm definitely getting the sense that I'm talking to a man right now. But like, these are the trials and tribulations that one must go through in order to initiate into manhood. I feel like some of you guys are challenging those old ancient ways of thought here. And you're going to be honoring your intuition a little bit more, because you have purple sprinkled throughout this entire spread here. Like, you know you best. You know what works best for your heart and what can help you sleep better at night. So if you've been just trying to get that approval, which comes through with Wands and Emperor's energy, just with that red, and needing validation externally outside of yourself and wanting to fit in with certain groups, or just the image of yourself that you wanted to portray, you know, and your reputation, if you will, especially with your group of friends, again, with this clique. You're starting to become more of an independent thinker as you are, of course, also aging, right? As time continually passes and you see certain things that just don't feed your spirit anymore. They don't do anything for you. You're not interested. Definitely not interested. I definitely feel like a lot of you Leos have detached at this point in time, and it's for good reason. It's like, I'm meant to be something else. I'm meant to leave a different mark on the world. I'm tired of being seen as the bad guy, being seen as this cold person, being seen as this bitch, you know, being seen as somebody that is just extremely hard to deal with and being difficult. Like, a lot of you guys are looking at that, and it's like, I'm done with that. In matters of the heart, it's just like, I'm better than how I've been, again, portraying myself to be here. That's what's coming through. Interestingly enough, underneath the Five of Wands, I see the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Swords. So there is a pair. If there's distance that's been created, it's just like the more time that happens to pass, the more the passion is lost. And for some of you, the least likely you will be able to win this person back. Because again, the Ten of Wands is about like accomplishment, a great feat. You know what I mean? And also with the Emperor card, being brave enough and being headstrong enough to really go after what it is that you desire, and being persistent and just being confident and really being bold. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because everybody has their own idea of how this played out, right? With the swords energy. There are three sides to every story. There's your side, there's this person's side, and then there's the absolute truth of the matter. So can you guys get back together and really be able to confront the truth? Are you guys ready to hear the truth? And that's really what it is. Can you guys be transparent if you were to have this reunion? Because you can't come back into the situation and act like nothing happened with this energy here. I definitely feel like there are just so many unanswered questions. So definitely keep me updated with what's going on in y'all's personal journey in the comment section below, because I'm interested to see how this plays out for the very different people that I'm reading for and the circumstances that have come up, and just how you guys see yourselves moving forward with this challenging energy at this time. Okay, definitely give me a thumbs up if it resonated. Subscribe again if you haven't yet, Book with me should you need to, but if I don't hear from you, then please just take care of yourself and your soul until you hear from me again. Ciao.